So welcome everybody. It's the Dr. Hank Show, and you know what we do here. We help you become your greatest possibility. And we have just amazing people that are on that help us that we all have our lighted path, if you will. And so some of the answers and solutions I can guarantee you to your better mental health, especially today, will happen. And so hang on and listen and look for the golden nuggets that you're looking for and wanting in your life for better, especially today, mental health. And who we have, we're honored to have Sam Mandel with us today. He is the co-founder and CEO of Ketamine Clinics, and it's in Los Angeles, and he specializes in ketamine infusion therapy. And we got some freebies to offer you and everything, but really an understanding on how important mental health is. And so, Sam, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being on. And tell us a little about what you do and how you can help us with our
Yeah,
mental.
well, thank you for that, Dr. Hank. It's nice to be here with you.
Yeah.
And I am Sam Mandel, co-founder, CEO, Ketamine Clinics Los Angeles. That's the name of the business. And founded in 2014. So we just celebrated our 10-year anniversary this month,
Awesome.
actually.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So a decade of providing hope and healing. It's been quite a journey.
Wow.
And, we offer a really cutting edge treatment called ketamine infusion therapy. We also have added some other more conventional treatments, such as just general psychiatry, psychiatric medication management. And we're about to launch a new one, relatively new treatment and a new service to our practice, which is called transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS. Today, I
Okay.
really want to focus on ketamine, though, because that's what we've pioneered for the last decade. And that's been our primary focus. And that
Oh,
really is the fastest acting, safest, most effective depression treatment available today that most people have never heard of. And
wow.
so I'd love to get into that.
Okay,
I think,
great.
for starters, just to take a step back, what is ketamine?
Yeah.
That's how we can't really talk about a treatment that utilizes this medicine if we don't know what the medicine is. So ketamine is an anesthetic, actually, and it was FDA approved in 1970. So
Hmm.
it's an old medicine we've had for a very long time, being used for sedation, for surgeries, procedures,
Wow. Okay.
also as a analgesic, as a pain reliever. It's also used in veterinary medicine, so a lot of people know of it as a horse tranquilizer or a cat tranquilizer, and they are a little offended when they hear that we're giving it to people. But in fact, many medications that are approved for humans are also used in other mammals and animals. So,
Wow.
and it's also a drug that people use recreationally or self-medicate with, known as Special K. So there's also some stigma around it, and people have some of the people who know of it in that through that lens have this idea that it's something bad. But again, with anything that has great potential and power to help and heal, it can also be misused in other ways as well.
Yeah.
So it's a really ubiquitous drug. It has a lot of different identities, a lot of different uses, and it's versatile. In the last 20 plus years, it's been proven out through a substantial body of literature, scientific research, and an increasingly growing body of research to
Mm.
be an incredible reliever of suffering related to mood disorders like depression,
Oh,
PTSD, anxiety, suicidality, among
wow.
others. Those are the big ones. And to date, there's actually been about 200 clinical trials that have been conducted or are underway.
Mm.
Around 70 with results published available online now. So this is not just some brand new thing. I mean, like I said,
Yeah.
we've been doing it for a decade. The research goes back at least 20 years plus at leading institutions. And in the time that we've been around at Ketamine Clinics Los Angeles, we've provided more than 30,000 infusions.
Wow.
So this is a very tried and true thing.
Yeah.
Because ketamine is an old medicine and the patent is up, it's a cheap generic drug, and no one
Oh,
really can make a lot of money on the sale of ketamine. So
okay.
that's why, or one of the reasons why, many of the people listening to this now have never really heard of it or heard of this treatment. I want
Okay.
to distinguish that the way we're using it to treat mood is an IV infusion, and the
Mm.
infusion is about an hour long. And
Okay.
people come in 6 times over 3 weeks, so about
Okay.
twice a week for 3 weeks, and
Got
they
it.
are made comfortable in a recliner, given pillows, blankets, noise canceling headphones, with relaxing music. We establish an IV. We connect them to vitals monitors for their blood pressure, pulse ox, EKG, etc. And they
Uh,
have an experience during this infusion for about an hour, and then they can rest and recover afterwards, and they go home, usually within, 30 minutes. So that's
and
a
when you
basic
say
overview.
and when you say an experience in that hour, what are you referring to? Like, is it a enjoyable experience? Are they, what type of experience are they having?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I love to get into that. So the way that this treatment works so well and so effectively, we have an 83% success rate. And
Wow.
that's even among a treatment-resistant population. So patients who have tried and not benefited from at least two or more other conventional
Wow.
options, usually a long list. Most of our patients have tried many, many medications, and sometimes even ECT or TMS or, psychotherapy and all kinds of dieting and coaching and all kinds of stuff, and they just have not been able to get out of the depths of their despair. And this
Wow.
treatment works for them. It works very fast as well, usually within a matter of days to maybe a week at the most for most people. So it's
Wow.
very fast acting, it's very effective. The way that it works is it's a two-pronged approach. One is on the neurochemical level of what it's actually doing to the chemistry of the brain. And the
Mhm.
other is the experiential component, the psychological, which is really, really healing for people.
Wow.
And that experience that I mentioned varies widely from patient to patient and also from one infusion to the next, because ketamine is a dissociative anesthetic, but it's also more or less a psychedelic. There's
Mm.
some debate in the field as to whether or not it's a true psychedelic or a
Yeah.
classical psychedelic like psilocybin or LSD. But
Yeah.
it has psychedelic properties at the least, if you don't want
Okay.
to call it an actual
Yeah. Yeah.
psychedelic. So that might freak some people out, but
Yeah.
again, it's an FDA-approved medicine, very safe, very effective, treatment's
Yeah.
proven. So just because you hear that word, that doesn't
Yeah.
make it bad or dangerous.
Well, if I can, that I remember Aaron Rodgers was a football player was talking about these psychedelics that he's doing, whatever, and like he's had some amazing recoveries and some, really great experiences, and it's just made him a better person, and on the list goes. So actually, I think it's becoming more mainstream as people realize that this is, really all chemical psychological impact for us. And if we could feel better, that let's do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's amazing research being done today on the other psychedelics that are not yet legally available, but that are rapidly becoming available for the
Yeah.
treatment of depression, PTSD, traumatic brain injury. They're
Mhm.
looking at some for even Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. And,
Mhm.
these drugs are actually, or I really should say these medicines are really
Mhm.
helping to heal and enhance brain function and heal
Yeah.
damaged parts of the brain. And that's what
Mhm.
ketamine does as well. And that's been proven out in studies. Actually
Yeah.
increase dendrite density and connectivity, helping to promote neurogenesis, new neural pathways forming in the brain.
Mhm.
Parts of the brain in the prefrontal cortex that are involuted, that are shrunken, smaller
Mhm.
because of depression and mood disorders. There's actually physical changes that start to happen in the brain over time.
Mhm.
And you can measure this in scans. And
Wow.
ketamine can help these parts of the brain to actually plump back up
Wow.
and have more firing, more electrical activity, better communication circuitry in the brain. I mean, it's really
Yeah.
incredible. And with that, it can help people to form new healthy habits, new, healthier ways of thinking and being. So many of us get kind of grinded down into this negative thinking and patterns of being and into a kind of hopeless loop.
Yeah.
And that is one of the key descriptors for so many people suffering from depression is they feel hopeless, they feel helpless, they feel
Yeah.
worthless. So
Yeah.
ketamine is a disruptor, and
Wow.
ketamine can really help to break up that loop and provide
Yeah.
opportunity for people to lay a new, healthier foundation for themselves and their lives. And so
Yeah.
it's not just, it's not magic. People have to do
Yeah.
the work. They got to eat healthy. They got to sleep
Sure.
well,
Yeah.
participate in talk therapy,
Mhm.
make sure that they have a good fitness routine, that they have interpersonal relationships, meaningful interpersonal relationships with people. You have to have the pillars of
Yeah.
wellness, but those are
Yeah.
things that so many people are unable to do when they're in the throes of depression. You know, they
Yeah.
might know, many people, I'd say most people know those things are good, but
Yeah.
they're just stuck, or they just have no energy and they
Yeah.
can't. Ketamine provides that energy and that motivation to
Well,
take those things on.
Well, Sam, I'll tell you, this is really exciting, and it's a great perspective and to understand. And I can really relate to, like, when you were saying that, it's opening up a new circuitries, and making it bigger. And I mean, this is physically, as we age, that all kinds of things happen because of gravity. We get wrinkles, or whatever, and our memories, can go, that our thinking, our body functions, ED, whatever, all of this. And there are now these technical solutions that are happy, healthy, that medical solutions. And like you said, that this is really medicine here to open up all of that and to open up our minds. It's like taking a vitamin, if you will, that, it helps us to be better. The other thing you shared, which was really interesting, is that not only is it that, but I loved you saying that it gives you new, healthier habits. And everything comes from our thoughts. And it's been proven by science that our thought creates energy, and energy creates matter. And so our thoughts were the creators of our experience through our thoughts. And I use 7 secrets to a super ager for health clinics, and a lot of those things you mentioned, like having healthy relationships, like being active, like sleeping, well, that all of those things is how to be what we call a super ager. And this is people living into their 90s and beyond, healthy, and that you, in essence, with your a ketamine infusion therapy, can do just that if you need a little extra boost, other than these things that we can mentally actually manage. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I also just want to come back to the experience part of it a little bit, because I kind of
Yeah.
go off into the, neurochemical, but the experience is really profound as well. And that's the other piece that's unique about this medicine. It's very
Well,
different from others that might also have some impact on the brain. First of all, the processes that I described are pretty unique to ketamine, especially when compared with our traditional treatments for depression and other mood disorders like
mm,
SSRIs, SNRIs, antipsychotics, anti-anxiety medications, a lot of pills. Most of the country is taking pills for one thing or another, and especially
right.
mental health. These pills are really treating the symptoms. They're not actually getting at the root cause of the issue. And they don't really work for most people, and they produce terrible side effects. If they do work, the benefit is generally pretty mediocre. People say,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel a little better. I can go to work. I wasn't really able to go to work before, but I'm miserable. I mean,
Well,
I'm flat. I feel locked in. I feel numb.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel as low, but I'm not really happy either. I'm just existing.
Yeah.
It's a terrible
Right.
place to be. Is it better than being in bed? Probably, but I wouldn't put it that much higher.
Yeah.
Um, Ketamine helps to really restore pleasure. It helps people to
Wow.
feel good again, really.
Wow.
The experiential component during the infusion can be very profound. People sometimes are laughing, sometimes they're crying, sometimes they're having epiphanies or realizations.
Yeah.
People are able to revisit trauma in their lives from the past and get closure on it and new insight, because
Wow.
the past is fixed, right? It's locked in stone. It's never going to change what
Yeah.
actually occurred. But our mindset, our perception of it, the way that we view it, the event, the way we view ourselves and our role in it, the stories we tell ourselves about what it means about us and who we are,
Mm,
that can change at any time,
yeah.
indefinitely. And
Right.
so ketamine helps people to reframe and to gain,
Wow.
more compassion for themselves, more compassion for other people, and get
Wow.
closure in ways that are extremely healing. And a lot of people will say that was like 20 years of therapy in an hour, literally. And a lot of therapists who are doing some work with patients who are having this treatment will also say, I've seen a client for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever, and
Yeah.
in just a matter of 1 week, with this being added to the mix, we had breakthroughs that were bigger than we've had in the entire time we've worked together. So it's
Wow.
very profound.
Yeah.
I also want to just reiterate again, people have to be willing to show up for themselves, participate, do the work, and
Yeah.
it's not magic. It
Yeah.
doesn't work for everyone. You know, we
Uh-huh.
have an 83% success rate, which is remarkably high,
Yes.
higher than anything else I know of out there. It's
Uh-huh.
not 100%, and it's
Uh,
not a cure. So some
yeah.
people will need to come back for follow-up treatment.
Yeah.
I say all that just to be well-rounded in what I'm saying
Sure.
about this, because I'm putting
Sure.
out a lot of very, very, positive statements.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
reality is, this is an incredible treatment. It really is. Not
That.
perfect, but
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. It
Yeah,
just,
that's fantastic, and I appreciate you being authentic and sharing with the whole picture, if you will,
yeah.
of that. It's exciting. Now, tell me, could people that let's say, I'll take me as an example, that I'm not depressed at all. I'm into life, and I just love it that I know, though, that age can do things like these narrow pathways and everything, and to open them up. Would you recommend, like, for somebody like me, or so in other words, not just the severe people in depression or whatever, but would you recommend this to just even put put you to a higher level of vibration, if you will, and perspective?
Yeah, I love that. A higher vibration. Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. Because ketamine is a controlled substance, and just because of the regulatory climate in the United States, and
Yeah,
especially where we are in California, which is
yeah,
the strictest,
yeah,
we have to be treating an actual diagnosed condition. So
yeah.
we have to be treating someone who has depression or another mental health condition.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Oh, okay.
most people will qualify for something, quite frankly. I mean, if you
Oh.
go and see a psychiatrist, the reality is the DSM is vast. There's like 500 different disorders in there. And if you want to be able to identify an issue that you could treat with this, it's not that difficult. That
Oh,
being said, we do need to be treating someone with an actual diagnosis.
yeah,
My personal, just that's because of regulatory stuff. My
yeah,
personal view is
yeah,
that this is amazing for pretty much almost anyone to
yeah,
be able to do just what you're talking about, to raise their vibration, to
yeah,
enhance creativity, to enhance
yeah,
brain function, to boost their
yeah.
mood, to give them
Mhm.
insight and new perspective on themselves and on their
Yeah,
life.
yeah,
It could be such a powerful, and I think in the future it will be a powerful tool for just wellness, that people,
yeah.
I hope, will have the opportunity to experience it just for the sake of
Right.
exploration and growth,
Yeah,
and that there
yeah.
doesn't have to be something, quote, wrong
Wrong.
in order
Yeah,
to benefit from
yeah.
it. But
Right.
at this time, and there may be people who are in the United States, at least, who are already using it in that way.
Yeah,
That's a risky thing to do. That's a lot of liability there. So
yeah.
for us, we like to keep it, in
Sure,
the lines.
sure.
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, great, great. Well, and I know that we talked before the show that you would offer something to our viewers, for those that, and it's not necessarily for you being viewing this and watching this. It's probably, or could very likely be, for somebody and a friend, a loved one that does have really a severe condition, where they are in depression, where they just don't have any life. Again, they can qualify, that there are some things that you offer online as well, and so you don't have to always be physically there, but it would require, like, if you do want the ketamine infusion therapy, that it would require you being there for 3 weeks, in LA, to get those treatments twice a week. And again, you would have to have some type of diagnosis, which it appears is pretty easy to be able to do. And so, did I recap that correctly? Was all of that
Yeah,
correct?
though I want to clarify, because I know you have an audience all over the world, and
Yeah.
we do see a lot of people who travel to us, and we do have a modified protocol for out-of-towners, and that's actually 6 infusions in about 8 or 9 days.
Okay.
So we're able to kind of accelerate it and do that.
Okay.
Um,
Awesome.
Usually, Monday to Thursday, and then Monday, Tuesday, or something like that. We give them a
Okay.
day off in between. That works just as well for people. It can be more intense, and the treatment can bring up a lot of emotion, a lot of thoughts and feelings,
Yeah.
and it can make you feel tired
Yeah.
just on the day of treatment. So it can be a lot for people to do that on consecutive days without a day or two to rest.
Yeah.
But it is very effective, and especially for people, we have people come to us from Australia, New Zealand,
Yeah.
France, Italy, all over the world because of our
Sure.
reputation in this work. And it's not feasible for them to be away for 3 weeks. So
Right.
we do this, and it works very well for them as
That's
well.
great. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. And then what is your offer? What are you willing to give our audience here?
Yeah, so when we first were talking before the show, I was going to offer a free consultation
Yeah.
to people, and the reality is we offer free consultations to anyone who wants them. So I like to actually increase that because it's been such a joy to speak with you, and I like to offer a 10% discount to any of your listeners. And
Okay.
all they have to do is mention the Dr. Hank Show. This is a
Okay.
10% discount on ketamine infusion therapy. And of
Okay.
course, people have to be approved. We have a screening process, but if anyone is a good fit, or they know somebody who might be a good fit, the consultation is free. There's no
Okay.
obligation. It's confidential to inquire. And if
Yeah.
somebody should move forward with actually having treatment with us, all they have to do is mention Dr. Hank Show, and we will offer a 10% discount, which is equal to $400.
That's fantastic. Well, Sam, I really appreciate you sharing this good news. And it's, another opportunity for us to become our greatest possibility and to, have, I love some of these ideas about having new, healthier habits and to, really enjoy the zest of life. And that's what this life is. And if for some whatever reason, and physically those neurological, are shrinking or whatever it is, that Sam has the answer. And again, with ketamine infusion therapy, and Sam Mandel, and mental health advocate, and it's ketamine clinics in LA. And how can they reach you, Sam?
Yeah, so Ketamine Clinics Los Angeles is the full name of the business. There are some
Okay,
other ketamine clinics in LA, so I just want to make people aware of that. Our
got it.
website's ketamineclinics.com. That's
Okay,
KETAMINECLINICS.com.
okay.
Lots of great information on there. They can also call 310-270-0625, and
Give
we are
that to give
available.
that to me again.
Yeah,
310.
absolutely. 310-270-0625.
Okay.
And we are happy to answer any questions. We also do accept insurance for general psychiatric services, which we can do with anyone who is located anywhere in California through a
Okay.
video visit. And again, the ketamine is an in-person treatment, and what we see as the number one most effective thing.
That's fantastic. Well, Sam, thank you so much. We appreciate you helping all of us to have a new perspective, new opportunity, a new place to be able to go to get help if we want to enjoy a better life and better mental health. And so it's incredible. We thank you for your time. And I'd encourage you to reach out to Sam in the clinic. Again, Sam's he has a psychiatrist working for him who would actually be doing it. He's the founder and co-founder and CEO of the company. And your dad started the company, is that right? You started the company with your dad? Is that how that?
Yes, yeah, we started it together. Yes, Dr.
That's
Stephen Mandel.
awesome.
So
That's
yeah, and it's still a
fantastic.
family owned and operated business, and
Yeah, I love
built
that.
together
That's
from the ground
fantastic.
up. Yeah, my father's an anesthesiologist. He also
Oh,
has a
okay.
master's in psychology. He did
Wow.
everything towards his PhD in clinical psychology, except for his dissertation, when he then went and decided to take a hard right and become an anesthesiologist.
Oh
But
my God.
because ketamine is an anesthetic, he
Yeah.
was an expert at using it and treating mental health. His knowledge, experience, and passion for psychology was like a perfect marriage.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah. And now we have
Fantastic.
there's a dozen people in the company now. We have psychiatrists, psychiatric nurse practitioners, registered nurses, administrative
Wow.
staff in a 5,000 square foot office here in LA
Wow.
side. That's
Wow.
really a beautiful purpose-built facility. So
Yeah.
Very proud of what we have and excited about the future.
Fantastic. Well, all the best to you. Thanks so much for sharing your knowledge and this incredible therapy that can help many people around the world. And with that, we thank you, Sam. Everybody know that you can have everything that you want starting right now with your thoughts. Think about the wanted and you'll get it. Take care. Bye-bye.